Thank you for joining us on the Bears Den. I'm joined by Steve Schmidt, Hall of Fame head coach for the Mott Bears in his 31st season. We're going to also interview two of his captains today, Derrick, Bryant, and Jailin. Last week, the Bears opened their season with a 95-62 win over Owens College. The Bears were led by Kelvin Balfour with 13 points, and every player scored in the game. They took a 6-point lead at the half and took control in the second to come away with a 33-point win. There were 6 players in double figures. Coach, what are your thoughts on that first game of the season against a gritty Owens team?
Well, I thought it was a typical start. I think we were too ready to play. I think the guys really didn't play like I thought they would in the first half. Didn't overreact at halftime. Basically said we're better than this. Just out of character. We weren't playing like Mott typically plays. Weren't sharing the ball. Guys were just too ready to play, I think, because it was the opening game, and we hadn't played in a long time in front of fans. So I thought the second half is more of an indicator of what type of team this could be, and doesn't surprise me that 6 players scored in double figures. We easily could have had about 8 guys scoring double figures. The team's deep, pretty talented. We take pride in how we defend, which we did a great job in the second half. And then we're deep, too, as far as a lot of guys can score and do different things.
Yeah, absolutely. To have every player hit the scoring column, that has to give you some reassurance that you can plug in, multiple lineups, various and variable teams out there, and do a lot of different things. Create turnovers, get the fast break, and also play some really good defense. That tells me that you're going to be a tough game anytime in the season, but that definitely has to be a go all the phases of the game.
Well, I don't have 5 defined starters. I always tell the guys, I want finishers, not necessarily starters. A lot of people like to get their name called and go out there, but right now, early in the season, I think it's a great advantage to give a lot of guys a lot of experience playing time where they can get a feel for some things, different combinations. We're very versatile. We got guys that can play different positions. All I look for is that they play hard, they play together, they defend, and I let them use their talents on the offensive end. I give them a lot of freedom, and these guys they're a seasoned veteran group. They've been through the wars last year, so I put 5 in and 5 out. I'm not going to do that all year, but we have the luxury to do it right now, and it's a sacrifice for these players. But at the end of the deal, hopefully we're fighting for championships, and we got experienced players that have had a lot of chances in games. And this is early. This is a preseason, pre-conference. I think our conference is as good as any conference at our level in the country. 3 teams are ranked right now nationally in the top 10. We're at 5, I believe. St. Clair County and Henry Ford round out the top 10. So that's pretty impressive when you got 3 schools in your own conference that are ranked nationally.
Oh, that is impressive. Going back to your multiplayer, substitutions, I know that was tough on the announcer when all 5 were coming at the same time. No, I thought that was great. You've got 2 captains this year, Derrick and Jailin. They perform at a high level. I know they've been with you for a few years now. What can you tell us about your captains?
Well, what I did is I had a pretty good idea who my leaders are. And these 2 guys, they're passionate about basketball. They did a great job last year. They're both starters. I only start one at a time, and they understand that. But they're starters that can run a team. They're kind of an extension of the coaching staff, and they know basketball. They love basketball. They're probably 2 of my hardest workers. They're in here early. They get extra time in. A lot of guys do, but they don't do it consistently. These guys do consistently. So, the team, I put it out to the team to vote, and it was pretty much unanimous. So they have the respect of their teammates to be able to be named captain. And I think that's a great honor. I've had some great players over all my years, and truthfully, the ones that lead the team, the ones that have been captains, they're some of the best that I had. So it's kind of an honor, and I'm really proud that the teammates, their teammates, our team, our family, as we call it, they voted them, and like I said, it was almost unanimous. So they're good leaders, and they got great attitudes. There's going to be ups and downs with this team. We had practice the other day. One kid, I didn't really think his attitude was really all about the team, so he took an early exit, came back today, and I saw a change. So you just have to adjust, and these guys will be great leaders for us all throughout the year.
That's great. Yeah, you can count on them to do the things on and off the court in the locker room, and I know a lot of them are living under one roof, so keeping everybody in line and heading for those common goals as a team. Coach, last week you rolled out the Mott Superfan Hall of Fame. You honored 3 inductees for just their time and their representation of your program and their volunteer and their overall attitude. You inducted Lenore Crowdy, Tom Skinner, and Ron Meeker. What do they mean to your program, and what a great gesture to honor them in front of their families and all your fans?
Well, I think it's a great idea. We just started it. That was the initial class of our fans. You know, you honor fans, and people over the years that I've been here, we have the best fans in the Midwest, I think. They follow us on the road. They're passionate. They love our basketball program and what we have done. And these are fans that come year in, year out, that I've seen. The 3 that you mentioned, Lenore Crowdy was chairperson of our Board of Trustees. She never missed a home game. She loved, she called them her Bears. She a couple times I interviewed for jobs, which is, a dream to possibly coach at a Division I level. I interviewed, and she would jokingly say, you can't, we're not going to let you go. But Lenore passed away. They named a family life center here on campus after her. She was the first inductee. Tom Skinner, longtime announcer, went to this past year's national tournament with us, and did a great job. I remember at our hotel, he'd post up in the lobby and talk to the different players from different teams, the coaches, the fans. Then he'd come to the game and help us out, but he was a tremendous announcer. I know the Pistons have their announcer, and different pro and college teams have their announcer, but for the last 30 years, he did a great job here, and he had some health problems. He passed recently, so that was a great inductee. You got some big shoes to fill, and you're helping me out by announcing our games. And the third, last but not least, is Ron Meeker, who is the definition of a super fan. Ron gets here early, sets up things for us, supports the players, and he's still with us. He loves it. He's retired. He's been retired for probably the last 20 years, and he's helped me out in the summertime, no matter what it takes. And it's not just our program. He helps out all the sports programs here at Mott. So I think it's a great idea to honor people that they're behind the scenes. They don't typically get recognition. I know as a coach, I realize it's a game for the players, and I don't ever forget that. But for the players to be successful, you need everyone else to chip in and do their part too. So I think it's a great thing that we're doing. It's unique. I haven't seen other schools do it, but we can lead by example like we typically do. So it was a great evening to honor those 3.
Wow, that's great. That's tremendous. Nicely done. It was a huge honor for me to be a part of it and to recognize those 3 Superfan Hall of Fame inductees. Well, thank you, Coach. Great job as always. I appreciate you coming into the Bears Den, and we're going to spend a little time with your captains. Thank you. All right, we'll see you tomorrow night. Welcome back to the Bears Den. I'm joined by our 2 captains this year, Derrick Bryant and Jailin Lee. As Coach mentioned, you were picked, and what an honor to be picked by your teammates to be captains this year. Going into the season, your team, the Bears, were picked in the preseason to win the Eastern Conference. As a captain, what does that do for your mindset going into the season? Does that help or hinder the team?
For us, we don't like to really focus on like the preseason rankings and the polls, because at the end of the day, our conference is it's pretty good. So anybody can be beat on any given day. So that just, it's nice. It's nice to get recognized, but we just keep our head down and keep working, because we don't want to get content when we haven't did nothing yet. So that's how we kind of go about it.
To be honest, we really just use it as motivation. So like, when we see stuff like that, it gives us hope to just keep going, for real. That's really it.
Yeah.
Now, as captains and as leaders, is your style more of are you vocal when you're on the floor, when you're in the huddle, or you're on the bench, in the locker room, or are you just like kind of lead by example based on your effort and attitude? What's your secret to success?
We both. Like, we both be very active and talkative, but we also lead by example, like coming in every morning and, just getting extra work in, getting guys to come in the gym. But if you ask anybody on the team, we never stop talking. So
right. Yeah,
that's
it right
we
there.
do
I don't
both.
really even need to say nothing.
We do both.
Well, I know you're both from the Detroit area. Derrick, you're from Chandler Park Academy. Jailin, you're from Southfield A&T. What brought you all the way up to Flint to play for Mott? Was it, obviously you got a Hall of Fame coach, a great staff, great team. Was there anything beyond that really kind of stood out to you and what brought you to Flint, Michigan?
Well, for me, I was working out with like a player that went here in some years. His name Jay Youngblood. So I was working out with him, and he had brought Coach to the gym, and he had told me about him and all that. So after that, I really started liking Coach, and when he gave me the offer, I just wanted to come here and play for him.
That's great.
For me, I graduated in 2019, so he was recruiting me and Andre, which was my high school teammate at the time, but I decided not to come at first. But last year, I was in the gym working out with Lee and Andre, and Coach came in, and we always were nice to each other. We always talked, and he just was like, "Are you going anywhere now?" I'm like, "No." Yeah, he just came with the offer, and I came. I think it's like no coaches in our conference or that can do this and stuff like this. Like that's like one you won a chance to play for that. So that's really what got me. Just the program itself. Honestly, like everything in a program, it's a winning program, and I'm all about winning. So
Exactly.
that was it for me.
Well, that's great. Yeah, you're going to obviously win some ball games. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn about yourself and establish yourself as, the start of life. So what are your goals after you leave this gym, Steve Schmidt Gymnasium, and head out into to wherever you're headed? Where you're going, you're going to continue on in your education. I guess what are some of your personal and professional goals?
Well, my goal is to get a scholarship offer to a university to continue playing basketball after this season, and I'm gonna get a business degree, and just go from there. I want to go as far as basketball takes me. That's my goal. Keep going.
For me, I'm trying to be a pro. I ain't even gonna lie. So after this, I'm looking to take basketball to the next level. I mean, of course, I'm gonna keep doing like the schoolwork because that's needed, and I'm a businessman, so I got to get my business degree. So that's really it.
Yeah, it's a great goal. Obviously, if you want to continue on, follow your hopes and your goals, but you got to have that business degree. If you look at a lot of the players that have finished playing in their career, they have just great enterprise and just great business acumen, and definitely. Utilize this opportunity to get your education and then follow your dreams. And then once that's all said and done, you can start a successful career in business. Well, great job, guys. Congratulations to you. Excited to watch you the rest of the season. So up next for the Bears, they play Rochester College here tomorrow night. Then a few days of rest up, and then they have a busy schedule next week. They're going to be playing the likes of Kellogg, Terra State, and Lansing. It should be an exciting month of the season as they get started and get ready for that long stretch that hopefully goes deep into March. So we will see what happens. So congratulations to you both. Thanks for coming in. And thanks to Hall of Famer Coach Steve Schmidt for coming in the Bears Den. We'll see you back here next week on the Bears Den. Thank you.